Olympia weekend is almost here, and RX Muscle has you covered with wall-to-wall coverage and the best athlete interviews on the web. It's RX Muscle's March to the Olympia, powered by Results Nutrition.
Welcome to another episode of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Make your mark. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here to bring you all the latest news in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's Friday, September 11th, 2015, and let's get to it. While Mad Max may have been one of the biggest box office smashes of the summer, the East Coast Mecca's very own Maxx Charles preparing to do a little smashing of his own just over a week out from now when he steps onto the Olympia stage for the very first time. Charles is riding high, coming off his first win of his career at the Tampa Pro a few weeks back. And now that he's gotten a taste of victory, you can bet that he'll be salivating to hit the Olympia stage to satisfy his next craving. Charles is one of the true wild cards heading into the show and has to be considered a strong dark horse candidate to crush a few souls on the back end of the top 10. At his best, Maxx is right at the top of the freakiest competitors in the game, but he'll have to set the bar even higher if he hopes to leave a lasting imprint in the desert town of Las Vegas. When the Big Bad Wolf meets up with the mastermind of Camp Menace, we can be sure of two things. There's going to be a lot of huffing and puffing and a whole hell of a lot of pain. Dennis James was spotted putting Dennis Wolf through the ringer for a chest workout recently as the perennial top 5 contender prepares to make yet another run at securing his first Olympia crown. Wolf has a shock and awe factor to his physique that's completely unique in the sport. But unfortunately for him, he's run headfirst into a few guys named Greene, Roden, and Heath that have prevented him from ever having a shot at the Olympia crown. Wolf is a spectacular talent that looks like he might be joining Greene alongside names like Wheeler, Ray Lavroni, and Gaspari as great athletes who could never clear the final hurdle. But legacies aren't authored until the careers are over, and Wolf still has the final say on how his last chapters are ultimately written. With all the talk about the impending collision of Flex Lewis and Jose Raymond, a few 212 athletes have gotten lost in the shuffle during this run up to the 212 Olympia, including New York's very own Marco Rivera. This year has been far and away the best of Rivera's career, highlighted by his first pro win at the Puerto Rico Pro. Pound for pound, Rivera might be the most improved athlete this year in the entire division, and as we saw with his 7th place finish at the Arnold Classic, a 100% Marco Rivera can compete with just about anyone. And if Rivera shows up resembling anything close to what we saw earlier in the year in Puerto Rico and brings that same pit bull tough mentality to the stage, he won't have to worry about flying under the radar much longer because everyone will know when Marco Rivera's coming to the stage. When he's not busy being a multimedia mogul or shooting for ESPN or inspiring hundreds at one of his muscle camps that are quickly becoming legendary, Greene seems to be occupying his time by absolutely destroying each and every workout. Only days away from returning to the Olympia stage, the Predator might be sporting the best version of himself that we've ever seen. As always with the conversation always boils down to whether or not he's managed to put together a package that's capable of beating Phil Heath. And while dominance doesn't appear to be showing any chinks in the armor, remember that just a few years ago, the unbeatable Jay Cutler fell to Dexter Jackson in what was one of the most surprising upsets we've seen in Olympia history. And perhaps this will be the year we see some unfamiliar history repeat itself once again. If you've been wondering what kind of look we're going to see from the magnificent Candace Lewis at this year's Olympia, I think we found the answer. Freaking awesome. Lewis has never been one to live out her entire contest prep on social media, But as of late, she's been leaving a trail of breadcrumbs that leads many to believe that we're going to see a look that's going to easily surpass last year's body that earned her a third-place finish. Lewis may very well be one of the most genetically gifted athletes that we have in this sport. And when she's at the top of her game, which is almost always, she's like a great white swimming in a sea of tuna. And if the long rest since the Arnold Australia has done her body good, the rest of the figure division should be on a serious upset alert. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Make your mark. Check out ironmaglabs.com today. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.